Good evening again. So, as promised, we are going to have a look at the other game that Austria and Catalonia are about to play tonight. We just saw this one, Werner beating Albert. So we believe, it's not been updated here yet, but we believe that was the first game and it's 1-0 for Austria at this point. And the other one is going to be this one, Gabi against Víctor. And this is a Bara mirror, and we actually this time should have enough time, right? To have a quick look at the deck. So Austria's Bara Wars deck, what is this all about? Well, surprise, surprise, it's actually playing Azor High Reborn, so it's kind of a Qohor in disguise. Plays Warhammers and Red God's Blessings, has the Silici that works with the lore attachments, and has the Fast Bob. So basically most of the tools, but Stan is here as well. Support is a little bit different. It has Delena, so doesn't want to stand, that's why no Lightbringers are here. And Bastard of Robert, so not all Relore Chads, but these that come in for free if Robert is in play. And there's an extra location compared to Qohor. It's the Red Keep for draw, which you also need to protect. That in offensive decks like that it's not always the easiest, so we'll see how that plays out. And we have seen in Flames at Nightmares, which has potential to solve some problems that actually Bara Qohor cannot. So what do we have for plots here? So we have Clash of Kings, which in the late game can win initiative for sure if you play the Maiden, which you don't, okay? Also plays King in the North, which Bara Qohor tends to do. There's heirs to find Robert as quickly as possible, presumably. So we have some cheap lords and 3 copies of Alistair for that. Tower of Joy, not going to do much in this game, so I don't expect this will be played. And the Gates as the opening, for possibly for Gates of the Moon, or maybe Great Hall actually, especially if Qohor is struggling, you don't want to feed them Econ. Breaking Ties, most of the opposing characters that gain power on themselves will be neutral, will be loyal, I think, so we'll see if that works. And Mad King's Command, of course. Time of Plenty, another possible opening. And we have Valar Morghulis. So Qohor deck has access to bodyguards, of course. Now this one, I guess it's just expecting to play dupes. And it's going to try to reset if things get dangerous, or if the Qohor deck doesn't protect itself very well. Now, do we have anything unusual here? So the thing that we've already talked about a little bit in this tournament is the absence of a Mad King's Command in the deck. So it plays no resets at all. It's going to play the Maiden, which wins it initiative most rounds, then has 2 Smiths, which can only kneel the Econ and Red Keep in this matchup. Also has King in the North, so both players prepared for that. Return to the Fields, that's an answer to Morghulis. And Close Call, so kind of an answer as well. Plus Barring the Gates, which is dead in Bara Mirrors. Doesn't play Supporting the Fate of the usual suspects here. Rationing you sometimes see, it's not in this deck either. What do we have for attachments? I think almost the same package as everyone else, except for a copy of Strangler, which is new here, and could be played on Robert or Stannis on the other side. No, events of course, and just the Econ locations. Do we have any unusual characters? No, not really. Not playing around with the new Barrick either, so pretty standard Bara Qohor deck. Well, let's join the game and see how it goes. So, actually I did not mention this one, the Dragonstone Convert. So in open deck lists you can call Nightmares and Seen in Flames. I guess Nightmares is the more pressing concern, because it can stop your renown. But actually Gabi has almost the perfect setup. Has the Silici to get a free Azor High, and I was going to say Alistair is a good lord to trade. Maybe you wait a little bit though to play Air for him, because there is no big one to kneel, no Robert there in play or something that you would want to net, and plays Time of Plenty, which gives both players some options. Now there is a bodyguard on John. John cannot be saved, so bodyguard is not actually going to save him. I think it's just going to be repositioned, and well, all 8 gold spent and an attachment in play. That's not too bad, but it's not exactly the position he wants to be able to win this game. So we see how it goes. Robert in play. Does he get an attachment is the question. Gets one. Gets the other. Okay, so he's set up with the Voltron. Things could now go remarkably quickly. Wonder if he had that before playing Time of Plenty. But on the other hand, of course, one Melisandre ruins the whole thing, right? Well, not the whole thing, since he has a Zohar High Reborn, but with 3 characters in play limits you a little bit. Can't really play his own.
I just opened the game right now and I see that Baravors has just the perfect setup for no reason. Just got all that in play without any cohort triggers. Okay.
Yeah.
Seems fair.
So Marquina here cannot really get the same kind of situation because, well, he actually has a King's Road, so maybe now there is gold to get exactly that. Yeah, needs the intrigue icon. Still. Ooh, and that copy of Strangler that I mentioned actually finds its way onto the right character now. I mean, it doesn't stop the
nice for
renown,
him
but
as well.
he's going to stop just Gabi here dominating challenges with 5 extra strength in every challenge. Now he can only really do 1 successfully. Well, that perfect situation has turned into shit kind of with that marshalling phase. Although, as we said, Morghulis is in the deck.
Still. You're still winning military for sure, right?
Yeah, just
and then
can win military,
he
that's
has to
about it.
defend with all of them. Well, he has to defend with all of them too. Oh, actually, no, it's because of the strangle. But
He
yeah.
doesn't need to do anything really. I mean, he can just let the challenge through.
Yeah, that's also true.
But yeah, 1 bodyguard is the only attachment and it's on a character that cannot be saved, so it's kind of exposed to Morghulis actually. But Gabi would need to kill 2 of his key characters to do that. Not sure if he's prepared to do that.
Gabi plays just Morghulis or does he play Mad King's Command as well?
He plays Mad King's Command. Yeah, probably don't want to Morghulis.
Because I just come here, but we have to also mention that actually Qohor this version doesn't play a reset.
Yes,
which seems bizarre to me.
I did talk about that a little bit. Yeah, if you Morghulis here, the thing is you kill Melisandre and that's about it. There's still potentially Robert and Stannis to come, so maybe it's not the best idea in the long run. Khaleesi was duped, but she isn't. Loses the convert, interesting. Wants to keep the military icon. And of course John has insight and has the only attachment that is currently in play. Well, Strangler is there as well. That's probably not going, I would imagine. Yeah, John can get his insight on defense. And now actually, if Melisandre does power back, she can grab Disputed Claim and it will be turned on by the time we get to keywords.
Honestly, I think maybe You just go for milk on Robert, and then if you milk him, you can take Strangler for something different that's more beneficial to you later on. I don't know.
Well, okay, you stop the power gain with Robert, but then would get +5 strength in every challenge, and he
Yeah,
has
but I mean,
intimidate on him as well.
hmm, maybe. But you maybe still want to do milk because the power gain can be really fast. Let's see. Yeah, he's thinking about it as well. Um, I always Mika always yells at me if I click on the attachment and don't immediately know which attachment I want to put in.
Yeah, I mean you can't click and then think. Then you convince yourself, okay, I didn't actually need to do that, so I just lost a
Hmm.
bodyguard for no reason. You have to know what you're doing, and actually puts Warhammer on the little guy. I'm not sure what the
Interesting
plan
choice.
is to switch bodyguard maybe to a different. I mean, can't trade bodyguard for a bodyguard directly, but Warhammer on the little guy doesn't seem ideal, honestly.
Are there three bodyguards Warhammers in the deck or no?
Yeah, there's two. Sorry, of course meant Warhammer loses seized for reserve. As we said, the only location here is the Red Keep, which you can also get rid of with 2 copies of the Smith, so probably not a useful attachment at this point. Although he has 2 in play, so could have. The problem is you can't really even put it into play because it has no target, so yeah, can't just count that it will come into play and then you trade it. So I think Air for Gabi. No, Gates for Gabi and Smith for Victor. And he goes first, of course. Got some additional econ. And at the moment he has the Melisandre Nil. So first action Nil the Dragonstone port, I think. Yeah. Well, Stannis with a bodyguard would be okay, I think. So he wants a Melisandre Nil probably, but he also wants something that has the potential to gain power at some point. Yeah, and that usual plan that you go first and intimidate a little bit doesn't work. There's no character with intimidate really, because none of the bigs are in play. Convert going first can call nightmares on, so that it's not played on John, or it can call Sin in Flames, depending on if gold is left at all and what he thinks is the bigger threat. Now Melisandre Nil on the other side, not as impactful. I think Gabi would probably want more characters here so that Zorahai has more impact. Maybe get some Bastard of Roberts and stuff like that. Red Keep he can play, but it's not getting defended and probably just preemptively nailed with the Smith. He has the attachments. No. He has enough of them to stop that happening here in the marshalling phase, for what it's worth. Doesn't bother. Yeah, I think he could have done that and still had enough gold to kneel Dragonstone Port if it came in. It saved Robert's power. Yeah, but he's the one character with the duplicate, probably is going to survive all that's coming. Morgulis and Mad King's Command just fine, I think. Yeah, got the Chuds, got Selisi's strength increased as well, so now he's for sure going to be doing challenges back with Robert in the challenge, and he's not blanked at the moment, so maybe priorities should be get John Erin to win a challenge and possibly get that milk after all, because that really stops the power gain. Yeah, and any challenge that is left unopposed will speed things up for Víctor. So has a very tradable Warhammer there. Ooh, and hits Stannis, that's nice. Although Stannis would have probably... So if you put Azorahai Reborn on Stannis, I mean, you get 7 strength, but without Lightbringers, there's no way, right, to give him Renown. So the only character really in this entire deck that you want to Voltron is Robert if you want to gain any power. You can put it on Stannis and Warhammer, and then he has great Intimidate, that's true. Going first, of course, if you do, but not...
And there's no disputed claim in the deck?
No, nothing like that. No high initiative either, so
Interesting.
it's kind of tricky to go first and Intimidate. And now kills Alistair, so that plan to air not looking that great either. And yeah, it's going to stop any kind of power gain now with that Milk. So Milk and Strangler keeps both of them. And well, the only saving grace for Gabi here is that Víctor himself is not has not got the power gaining machine online here basically. So this is going slower for both players than they would like. And John is stopped from doing a power challenge. So what do we have on the other side? 7 on defense with Celice and Melisandre. And any challenge that is initiated with Celice automatically 7 from the other side. So I'm guessing that will be power. And that's the only military icon gone. I think power with Cilici, then intrigue with one of the acolytes to force the other character to kneel, and just take one power for dominance. Doesn't make a huge difference as to which one defends this. Oh, actually, Robert has Intimidate. So whichever defended the other one would get intimidated, and that is an extra unopposed on top of dominance. It's a Zorahai Reborn, which doesn't have a target. You can put it on John, but since he cannot be saved and there's Morghulis in the deck, that's rather hopeless, really. But good cards going. Robert coming in with this would have been great. Do we have air in Catalonia's deck? No, not even air to the Iron Throne. So plot deck is unusual. And I bet he would like that fiefdom to keep John's power safe. Barring the gates is in the deck for Marquina, so yeah, maybe that's a slight concern with those two airs. That's why Alistair wasn't aired into something. Ooh, and just pulls the trigger on Morghulis. Well, that's going to kill two key uniques. Well, and his own Cilici. They both get John's Spirit as well. Slightly surprised by this, really. Could have, he has two airs, could have tried to dupe Cilici before doing this. Of course, that signals his intent as well, so not sure. But if now prominent characters come in, not missing the trick with the Smith, which actually now on Morghulis' turn is quite impactful. And there we are. Yeah, they're losing Zorahai now. Not great. He has Stannis Dog with an attachment that can easily turn into Lightbringer. Now we need Delena on the other side to stop that potentially.
Well, this looks like it has gone to shit real fast for Baratheon.
Well, he's played Morghulis on purpose, so must have.
Yeah.
I mean, I would expect some bastard of Robert and stuff like that. As reminding Marquina kindly that needs to kneel that Dragonstone port. That's pretty fair, or at least leave a long pause, rather than some people that just rush through this. Now Melisandre is as good as anything here, because the
Yeah, the military
acolyte
would
cannot.
be a bit bad.
Yeah, the acolyte cannot push any challenge through us. So basically a non-round. You still can though to force Melisandre to kneel. Yeah, either one. I think Melisandre kneels. This way you, yeah. Robert is not going to kneel because he can't win on defense. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
maybe baiting he tries to defend with Robert and forgets about the Strangler, I don't know.
Could have let it go and trusted his luck. Basically, Stannis wasn't going to stand. Uh, hmm. Okay, takes dominance. That's fine. Stannis wasn't going to stand with whatever Qohor did, I think.
Because I said it's going to shoot for Baravors, but it's not the worst now with Melisandre, and I don't know. I don't know quite what the plots are, so
Well, he has king in the north, they both do. And he has two heirs, which at the moment, okay, you can trade Robert, there's no power on him, and Strangler goes and Milk goes.
mm.
But it's not the
Well,
best. And then he has Breaking Ties, which is not going to be good in this matchup. Tower of Joy is unusable. And Clash of Kings is the one really where he needs to do some damage.
King in the North is not the worst. I guess it will choke 3 econ from Baratheon.
From
Although
Baratheon.
now that you have Melisandre, yeah, from Qohor. But now that you have Melisandre, you maybe want to wait.
Yeah, I think more likely to come from the other side actually, to stop Melisandre. Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, how many attachments do we have? So he has Red God's Blessing, Milk, Strangler, and the others are Gabi's attachments. So at the moment he has 3. Now this would be, I mean, the one Robert has gone, so the chances of getting another Robert not that high. I wonder if you want to leave him out of
Hmm.
this, because he is the only guy that can possibly have renown here. That's the thing.
Yeah, but you also have not that much econ to marshal extra stuff and get a
Hmm.
decent board, because if you also um, leave out Robert, that's
Yeah, and the Zora High is of course terminal, so you'd be losing that.
well, it could go back to deck, right, if you don't select it.
It could, yes, but it's not a Qohor deck, so you're not just going to get it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Now he has 4 attachments, so
I mean, but you really can't afford, and that's really bad now. You really can't afford to lose Robert. Although, Qohor also can only choose one of the negative attachments if you want to keep Watson's tennis. Red God's Blessing. I suppose you
hmm.
can either keep Red God's Blessing or Strangler, or I don't know.
Dispute of the claim is not turned on, so he's probably going to keep it given that he marshaled it. Uh,
Yeah.
there is Intimidate on Robert. Now he has Strangler, so he's very weak, but if he goes into a challenge, I mean, if Melisandre does her intrigue or whatever, that's going to be 9 strength incoming. That can intimidate at least Robert on the other side. And military will kneel 1 on defense anyway, because you can't afford to lose it, so actually going first here might be able to stop most of the annoying stuff that Qohor is about to do, and Stannis, actually, if he remains standing, uh, Lightbringer this time cannot restand him, so it's going to be a slightly weak round. And then we get Melisandre back online for Gabi. Now let's see. Chooses all the characters. Azor High-End Warhammer and Red God's Blessing. So doesn't choose. Which Red God's Blessing is that? He has 1. So which one doesn't he choose? The Warhammer on
Well,
Melisandre,
I suppose
presumably.
the Warhammer on Melisandre, but he marshaled it this round, so that's weird.
Yeah, I think people forget about
I mean,
this.
it's not weird. Yeah, I forget about it all the time. Yeah, so. Honestly, I think there's a decent chance that maybe Qohor also doesn't choose disputed claim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even though it was Marshall this round.
It's a waste. I mean, it's close for dominance and it's a close game, so.
Yeah. But I do that all the time as well, so.
And now there is gold for Scene in Flames and Nightmares. Nightmares doesn't really achieve much this round, but Scene in Flames. Although you could Nightmares Robert if you're going to do a weak military. Okay, so starts with Intrigue. Might not want to defend then. But you have to defend everything basically. Okay, so he leaves this one. The problem is he'll need to. So Robert gets intimidated now. Imri
In this card, Imri.
was an interesting prospect in this one. He's going to intimidate and then he's going to do military, which will force either Stannis to defend or he's going to kill the Chad. And then there's still power with 3 to come, and that will need to be defended because there's intimidate for 3. So could have defended basically everything outright. Defended the first, and then Robert wasn't going to get intimidated, and he could have won renown on defense. Oh, okay.
Well,
She doesn't defend, but that's not good.
Yeah.
I think he miscalculated here on the
Yeah, I mean,
intimidate.
it looked really bad with only Robert on the board and with those 2 attachments. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe could have done this a little bit better here. So basically trying to win a challenge back, but I think the only way to do that was to leave the military. That's not a good plan though, long term. So yeah, could have really defended this a little bit better and then would gain some renown on defense. And there's the clash. Just going for the win now. But it's only clash, there's no renown. Still the same situation though with intimidate, forcing basically defenders into every challenge. And now Melisandre will surely kneel Stannis as well. And with a huge body coming in as well. And the other Melisandre is dead. Imri would have helped a little bit. Just sack him to have at least a decent round. Okay, now doing military. Not so great because it needs something of yours. Does he have another one of these? I don't think so. Put on the intrigue icon. It's just going to remove an event if it's there, and it is. Well, now probably a moment to calculate. So intrigue is the weakest. There's 4 on defense. And if Melisandre attacks, that's 8 on attack with intimidate.
I mean, you might want to go with the small one.
That's 3 though. So that's just normally
Yeah,
defended.
X3 it can be defended, and then you have 13 for the power, and then Stannis and Melisandre together can win. And then Robert's ability is also there.
Spends the power icon to defend. Oh, actually, Melisandre is not dead because he played close call.
Okay.
Would be nice to get her. 15 on power. Yeah.
Yeah, now Robert's going to get nailed either way, right?
Yeah, the only way to have challenges back is this time to leave it completely unopposed. That's 14 power though, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Red Priest defends military. And you still have one guy that can do a challenge back.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's enough damage. One challenge back. It would be opposed anyway, so. Mm.
There's one more milk somewhere to put on Melisandre maybe.
Well, actually, I think, do you consider... I was thinking if you don't now do a military challenge. Yeah.
So this needs to be opposed, and I think it's going to be opposed with Red Priest. Yeah. Doing power back is more urgent.
You could now leave power unopposed to get dominance. Oh, actually, you're winning dominance by 1 gold. Okay, so you can oppose as well.
Is he going to trade any attachments? Melisandre is a big problem, yeah. Now what's the initiative situation? So we spent Mad King's Command and Clash of Kings. The next best Gabi can do here is... he still has Breaking Ties. You can play that and not worry about
How
its
much
ability.
initiative that is?
7.
Breaking ties. Well,
But
it's still...
it doesn't beat
Oh, it's
return to the
still winning.
fields. It doesn't beat return to the fields, so...
Yeah, okay, but it's winning against... yeah, so I think then return to the fields and you sacrifice Alistair maybe to kneel
Yeah.
Melisandre or Stannis.
Yes. And then you finally go first with Withstand and possibly Intimidate.
Yeah, and honestly, it might be enough even. I mean, not to win, but to turn it around. Yeah, I'm giving prize away as well. Is there a barrack Dondarrion?
No.
There is.
Oh, you mean for
You lied
Gabi?
to
Yeah,
me.
there is a barrack here, of course. There is one barrack. Marquina doesn't have barrack. Well,
And there is
that's...
renown as well. So have to be careful now about how you attack.
Sure. I mean, he's the first guy to get intimidated, I think.
Yeah, and with Stannis nailed, the strength is a bit bad.
Silisi and an attachment would be okay. Silisi is dead actually. Melisandre would
Silisi
be
is dead, yeah.
good. This is not bad. It's going to take whatever can fight in challenges the most. Ooh, Delena, sure. She would have been annoying actually. She grabs a bastard of Robert as well. And now Gabi has 4 more plots where he doesn't actually have any reset, and Marquina doesn't have the reset as the last plot either, so... Although Gabi didn't play Breaking Ties, so now he should be able to win initiative with it. Warhammer from hand doesn't even need to trade for it, that's actually very good. Because that would have wasted the challenge. Ah, Delena there anyway. Well, now you have to milk her, but you can't because milks are already in play. So no stand. And no 3 cost attachment. To have Robert in every challenge. Well, these little guys, you need to keep one standing so that he can actually defend against them. So I'm guessing that will then be Stannis.
I see the Lena came in anyway, which I
No.
assume then that the bastard of Robert actually found Elena and then Elena found another bastard of Robert.
Yeah, fun.
Funny.
But they're not true lore characters, so they haven't actually increased the strength of Melisandre very much. Oof, okay, lots to think about, but actually only 17 minutes. Can't get Robert into 2 challenges, that's the problem. So we can intimidate one guy, which is potentially the renowned guy, and then just oppose everything, but you also need to successfully defend power. And let's see what the power total is here. The total strength, I mean. Would be 15
Is there
without Beric.
milks available?
Yeah, so if you attack power and intimidate Beric, you actually don't have enough strength anymore to defend the power challenge coming back.
Is there any more milks in the Qohor deck? Probably not, right?
No. Ooh, military first.
Military is a bit weaker.
You could intimidate Melisandre and leave Beric, because Stannis can defend military.
Yeah, and actually Beric is not a lore character.
Does that matter? Oh, you mean he doesn't
Yeah,
come with Robert if he...
yeah.
He could kill Robert here to make sure his attachments go. That would be an interesting plan.
Well, he has plenty of attachments, to be fair.
Yeah, but 2 very... I mean, very tradable. Not very tradable at all, actually. Just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no stand. Yeah. So only one intimidate going to happen.
Hunting
What
accident.
did he? So he. Yeah, interesting.
Hunting accident on Stannis or Beric, maybe.
Yeah, or even a Lightbringer on Stannis anyway. 'Cause he also has to grab power fairly quickly now.
Yeah, but Stannis might not do a challenge. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it he will have to defend if. Yeah. Yeah, and this Delena's here to stay because there's not gonna be another reset.
Yeah, I don't think he can survive this, honestly. Thing is, you can do power in a way that forces Stannis to defend and opens the way for Beric. If Beric is not intimidated, and if he is, then Melisandre is too strong.
The problem is actually this was not even a power challenge yet.
Yeah.
So he's still just in the range of winning dominance. And just winning through that. So 10, actually Stannis is so big he doesn't win dominance. 10, 12,
Yeah, but you can attack power
14,
with
15.
Delena and Bastard of Robert, that's the thing. Or even that Acolyte. It's going to force Stannis to defend, otherwise it's game over.
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't be done. Too many characters in play. You need to make the board smaller, really, at this point. I mean, when he played the Red Priest, if actually there wasn't a Delena there, and then she basically was drawn and brought another Bastard of Robert, that's slightly unfortunate there. Just really ruined things a little bit because there was a Warhammer and could have played a
Yeah.
Lightbringer then to have two intimidates on the biggest two characters. Yeah, this is the correct plan, I think. Can draw on defense
Yeah,
with
doesn't even need to
Stannis,
spend to.
but there's nothing you can draw to survive. Yeah, now I think he can look back at that really weak round where he didn't consider the intimidate. Would have given him a little bit more time, although with next round he's losing initiative with barring against air, and then I think Gabi closes in any case. Well, actually, in any case, there could be a Melisandre Neil still. Maybe it's not super easy, but he closes, I think. Yeah, good game. And it's the second win for Austria. I think they had, they fancied their chances probably in these first two. But still a long way to go, 6 games left. Yeah, Zor 1 was actually discarded earlier for intrigue. But that was at the point when there was no renowned body. That Morgulis was quite interesting. It looked to have worked really well in the short term with marshalling Melisandre, but then, yeah, not so sure after that because the renowned characters came. Although they could have got a bodyguard anyway. So, yeah. So it's 2-0 for Austria. And still, I mean, amazing players for both teams. We know Austria's team is amazing, but look at Catalonia. They have their 4 best players statistically here that have barely lost between them. Hansen, Estupe, Martí Foss, and Marcel. They have lost 5 games in 7 rounds between them. So 5 out of what? Almost 30, I think. Not sure if anyone played double. Marcel played some double games there. So really amazing win rate. And then there's Lannister, who is the statistically 6th best, but he too doing amazingly well. They have Greyjoy Winter still here, so yeah, they can come back like they did against Norway. And let's see if anything is scheduled tomorrow. Tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening, 2 more games. So this will be quite far into the round before we get to the weekend, whereas the China-France only really starts tomorrow. 1 game played, but nothing today. And actually we need to, can we switch to next month so that we can see if anything is scheduled on Sunday? Yes, 2 for both teams, and then actually even 1 scheduled on Monday, so they've asked for an extra day because we had the extra games for the quarterfinals to break the ties, and the pairings were a little bit later than usual, so they asked for an extra day to play out all of their games, and it looks like Monday evening could be quite dramatic. And slight chance to get some streaming. I'm now slightly more free with a bit more energy, so we'll see if we can get that going over the weekend. And yes, I think that's all we had for you tonight. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.